A few months back, I went to Chicago with an amazing group of people thanks to the darkroom and beers and cameras. It was a weekend of nothing but shooting film, talking about film, and meeting film photographers. Kind of a dream. And since I had only ever passed through Chicago prior to this, I was pretty antsy to finally sink my teeth into it. So after a coffee and long-awaited hugs, the group embarked on an architecture tour on the river. This was the perfect way to see Chicago, in my opinion. Even locals later on told me that they take these tours and they love them themselves because it is such a special and unique view of such a beautifully crafted city. Going underneath these bridges was so awesome every single time. This did not get old for me. The big reveal of the skyline opening up, it's just spectacular. And then the architecture. I mean, the city is iconic for it for a reason, and I totally get it now. I shot on a Pentax 645 with a 75mm lens for a sharp, more refined look, and a Contax T3 for more of a grainy, wide-angle perspective. I took this trip in month 7 of 12 months of only black and white film, and I'm honestly so glad because Chicago ended up being completely stunning in monochrome. You'll see I ended up shooting a lot of photos of my new and dear friend, Sissy Lou, who is an exceptional New York City street photographer. I loved being able to capture her do what she does best. Time for a grain check.
We got to check this thing out. Let's grain check.
Hey, superstar. Hey, I just wanted to jump in here and just take a moment to just thank the sponsor of today's video, Track Club. I would love to stay and tell you all the reasons why they're a fantastic music licensing service, but I'll spare you. First of all, the music, it's editable. 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 It's editable. Meaning you can customize any song before downloading it. Wild. Okay, now second, Track Club actually gives back. They are the first music licensing company to ever donate 10% of all of their proceeds back to community organizations. In fact, since 2016, they've invested more than $400,000 into nonprofits working for social justice, education, and more. So I'm telling you, if you're in need of a music licensing service, just look at trackclub.com, okay? All right, I'm gonna go. Thanks. Bye. So the tour continued on, and our little group of film nerds kept raging. Except for Jason. He just sat and contemplated his existence the whole time. Later on in the tour, we actually ended up entering Lake Michigan for a brief amount of time, which was really spectacular. And you get this phenomenal view of the Chicago skyline. It was one of those moments where everyone runs to one side of the boat, you know, and everyone has their phones out and, you know, everyone's photographing it. It really is so beautiful. All right, so I don't know what happened to this roll, but it somehow ended up extremely overexposed at some point in the process. Either I forgot what film stock I was shooting at some point and started metering incorrectly, which is a possibility, or something happened to the roll that I'm just not aware of. Who knows, but I actually don't feel too bummed about it. There's something in a little surprise like this that I can appreciate. And there are worse photos to be blown out like this. These actually ended up turning out pretty awesome. They look like vintage postcards. I'm not mad about it. On the second morning, I ended up going on a photo walk with some of the guys. Although we had a much bigger walk planned for that afternoon, we couldn't help ourselves but to add a couple miles to the grand total. I wish I had my video camera with me here in Union Station because you can just walk all around it without a ticket, which is so wild to me. And we also caught it at a very quiet and sleepy time, which ended up being perfect for black and white. It almost looks like abandoned or post-apocalyptic or something, and yeah, I'm into it. Walking around Chicago was fantastic after seeing it from the river the day before. There is truly no better way to get acquainted with a place than to walk it, so that I did. There is so much of the weekend that I didn't film, only because when there's community events like meetups or big photo walks, you know, open to the public, I don't want to think about having to film it. I just want to be there and just be face to face with people. So I don't have footage from any of that, but it was an amazing, amazing weekend. I just came home so exhausted in the best way. I definitely want to thank the Darkroom and Beers and Cameras for such an amazing weekend. It's really cool what you guys are doing to bring the film community together and like really keep it alive. I also want to thank Hidden Light in Flagstaff, Arizona, the lovely film lab who developed and scanned all of the images you saw today. And I can't forget about you at home, right there on your couch or your office chair or your bed or the toilet or whatever. Thank you for watching this video. It really does mean a lot. I think it's that time where we say goodbye. So dramatic. See you in the next one. Another one bites the dust.
With a darkness I can't explain. Games you've been playing in the shadow give me chills, I must confess. Yeah. There's a storm that is coming, yeah, and it's filled with emptiness. Yeah, yeah. playing in the shadows. Oh, they give me chills, I must confess.